Hello YouTube, how are you doing today? I'm George and today we are talking about an awesome new guitar that I've got. I've had it for maybe about a month or two, something like that. And I just want to say it's awesome. This video was highly inspired. Robert Baker just did a video on this maybe a week or two ago on the Gibson Les Paul Jr., which I'm holding right here in my lap. We'll look at it. Ooh, very nice. So I wanted to talk about this guitar, its uses, almost trying to answer any question that I knew that I had before getting it. It's certainly an awesome guitar, but stick around and we'll talk about it some more. Please like, subscribe, and here we go on with the video. What we're going to talk about is I've got 4 Gibson Les Pauls in total. Out of those 4, this is the one that feels the most different. So basically nowadays you can get a guitar and you can make it sound like anything. I mean, let's be real. Some Strats can be made to sound like Les Pauls. Some Les Pauls can be made to sound like Strats. Obviously with a split coil and all that. But for the most part, a lot of guitars sound really good nowadays, especially if you have a good amp, blah, 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 good preamps, this and that. It all sounds pretty good. So obviously we're going to listen to this guitar, but there's like a mojo when you play it that is different than other Gibsons. And so that's kind of what I really want to tackle today, because I'm sure you could hear this guitar on a million different videos. Probably not a million, but maybe 1,000, maybe hundreds of different videos. And so I want to go over the feel of the guitar. And I'll put the camera down on the guitar, of course. But first I want to go over the other Gibsons that I have. So this way you can see them and I could tell you a little bit about them, how those 3 are similar and how this one is different. So first up, we've got probably my flagship Gibson Les Paul. This is my go-to for live and also recording, especially on the leads because it's got the Floyd Rose. It's a huge sounding guitar. It's got EMG 5766, the set. And as you can see, it is a Gibson Les Paul. It's pretty bulky. It's not as heavy as, say, a custom, and the neck is really smooth, pretty thin feeling. Okay, we're gonna go on to Gibson number 2. All right, here's my Gibson number 2. This was actually a gift to me, and it came in brown, and I put this sticker over it. It is known as the Texas Rattlesnake, haha. And I do use this live drop D a whole lot. These are EMG. This is the EMG Revelation set. Super great, reliable guitar. It's my workhorse. I don't use it much in the studio, but super great live. And again, it has a very similar feel to guitar number 1. Very similar because the neck is very similar. The body shape, everything feels like I didn't even swap a guitar almost. Here's guitar number 3. All right, guys, so here's my 3rd guitar. This is a Gibson Goldtop. As you can see, Gibson Les Paul Goldtop. Now, this one I don't use live. I use it specifically for studio usage because of the P90s. Now, this one feels a little bit more different than the first 2. The first 2 are very interchangeable. They feel very similar. This one is just slightly of a different feel, only because of the weight feels different, and also the pick guard. I usually don't like pick guards on guitar, but this is just such a classic look that I had to stick with it. But the neck, again, all 3 of those necks feel very similar, and that's one of the key components to where I'm getting at. And finally, here's the Les Paul Jr. All right, guys, so here's the guitar we are talking about today, the Gibson Les Paul Jr. It's beautiful. It's very glossy, and I'm sorry for all the reflections here. I'll try to hold it in a way where it doesn't reflect so much. But what makes this guitar pretty different is it feels pretty heavy. It looks like it'll be a little bit lighter because it doesn't have the carved top, but that doesn't make it feel so much different. What really makes it feel different is this baseball bat neck. It is a thick, chunky neck. And because of that, I play very differently. And I think you would play differently as well, having this chunky neck. You tend to focus a little bit more on these big, fatter chords. Also, not to mention the single tailpiece, okay? The other guitars didn't have that. The pickguard doesn't bother me. The pickup selector, none of that really makes a difference for me in terms of feel. It's more just that single tailpiece with the palm muting and whatnot, and definitely the much thicker neck. But I think that attributes to its awesome tone. So another thing I was worried about before I got this guitar was that the tuning stability. Now, to my surprise, okay, I know Gibsons are a little notorious on tuning stability, but lately, all of my guitars, my Gibsons, have stayed so well in tune, so well. And this one is amazing staying in tune. So I just picked this one up and automatically it was in tune, but then of course, like, I tuned it up, fine-tuned it for this video. So yeah, of course it was slightly out of tune, but now, I mean, the tuning stability with all the bands and everything, and of course we're gonna listen to that and hear that as well. Also, the other misconception that I was worried about is the P90 is like one P90. Is it versatile enough to do what we want it to do? And the answer is yes, actually it is. I've found that for whatever reason, since I don't have the pickup selector here, I think that my brain, our brains, if you were to have this guitar, would automatically go towards the knobs some more. We would do more on the knobs, okay? Since we don't have this going on, we focus on the knobs. And the knobs on this guitar are so responsive. Gibson did such a good job with making these knobs very responsive. The other guitars that I have, I would say that the knobs are not as responsive as this one. I don't know what it is. I'm not an electrician. I don't do any of that. I just play guitars, okay? Maybe it's my brain telling me that, but these knobs are very responsive. So for instance, if I turn my tone all the way off, all the way to 0, it sounds like a neck pickup. And I'll show you, again, we'll demonstrate that. The volume knob is very good for cleaning up your tone and then making it dirty. And we'll go through that as well. But just to summarize what I'm talking about right now is this guitar feels a lot different, but similar to Les Paul. I could tell it's a Les Paul, but it's a different style Les Paul because the neck is much more beefy, and the one tail piece. So enough talking here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play, and I'll give you a little bit of feedback as I play, just to be like human with you. Like, there's pure humanness here, and I'll give it to you as is, okay? So here we go. Guys, I was about to edit the video, but forgot one major thing. So check out this case that comes with it. It's a little bit thinner than the other Les Paul cases due to, of course, the guitar being thinner and a slightly different body shape, but it is just absolutely beautiful. It has a Gibson logo, the brown and the red interior. Looks great. It fits super, it doesn't even move. Look at that, I'm shaking it. Doesn't even move up or down, side to side. Perfectly fit. Has this compartment in here that, as you can see, still has a picture and everything that I need. So fits perfectly, locks up nicely. Here's the key for the lock. And so just wanted to let you know this case looks great. All right, guys, let's go ahead and play this. Just real quick, I'm taking the guitar. I'm going into my Marshall JVM, and we're on a pretty heavy setting. We're on like the red setting of channel 1. It's the JCM 800 setting. And I am going through my 2-note torpedo, Captor X, with greenbacks, 4x12 greenbacks, into an API 512V. Okay, here's the sound that we got on the guitar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up simply by lowering the volume. Check this out. Clean it up a little bit more. Make it dirty again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit more on the leads. And what I'll do is I'll mess with this tone knob. So now you'll really hear what I mean by, just because we have a bridge pickup, we can also make it sound like a neck pickup. Okay, so I've just added some reverb basically just in Logic. That's the only thing running. So here's some leads with the tone knob up. Lowering the tone knob. Tone knob back up. Back down. Let's put tone knob somewhere like in the middle. Bring it back up. Bring it back down. Back up. Okay, now as you heard, I was just bending a whole lot. Okay, and for just one tailpiece, check out this tuning stability. I'll clean it up a little bit just so we don't hear all this distortion, and you'll hear it's pretty much in tune. Check it out. not bad. Not bad. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe. Consider this guitar. This is a really, really awesome guitar. If you do like it and you want to order it from the best place to order music, and I only say this because they offer you up to 12, 18 months, somewhere around there, of no interest financing, and they don't do a credit check. That's where I got started. That's where I bought probably all of my gear, because musicians were notorious for having really bad credit. Fortunately, my credit's going really skyrocketing lately. But, you know, if you don't want to have your credit checked or any of that, go on over to Zzounds. I'm linking it down below. Check out this instrument. It is such a cool guitar. It's going to be in a lot of my future recordings for sure. And it just looks, I mean, it just looks gnarly. It looks really, really gnarly. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care.